second annual AEPS event at NEEPS pre-conference, and we're very happy to conduct this and hope that it will be a little better attended before the day is out. Nick Armenti. Right now, I am the current president of AEPS. We are developing our administrative structure, our board of directors, and I really want to recognize those young people who are officers now of AEPS and who really put this together. I was very much on the periphery of some of the planning anyway. And we have with us Jesse Lyle, who's our treasurer of AEPS, Dan Glass, our secretary, Brian Mayer, where's Brian? Brian right here in front of us, first vice president, and Thomas Hirschman, our second vice president. We're vice presidents, you know, we have two vice presidents.
Our vice president of International Affairs.
Right, International Affairs, representing, and so we are international already. So, but anyway, with all of that, and we're hoping to have our the meeting of anyone who'd like to attend tomorrow morning in the other building. Is that, we decided to do that, or are we going to have it right here? They can have it here at 9 a.m. We can do it here at 9 a.m. before NEEPS kicks off in the morning. So 9 a.m. tomorrow, we'll sit down for our general meeting discussing a number of issues that I won't go into now, maybe at the end if we have to. Then we have, let me introduce our moderators. I'm going to ask Dan Kruger just to say a few words if he would, but Dan Kruger here is going to moderate. Dan O'Brien, where's Dan? Dan O'Brien will moderate. Jesse Lyle will moderate. Thomas and Brian Mayer as well. Dan, are you? No.
Nobody told me about
You're going to
moderating.
present. You're going to present. So yeah, you're going to be too busy. So, Dan, would you kindly, share a few
Which Dan?
thoughts? Dan Kruger. I have to say Dan. One of my emails that said Dan's K and O. Yeah.
We have an abundance of Dans here. That's always a good thing. So hi, I'm Dan Kruger, and I'm very excited to be here and sharing this interest with all of you and using the most powerful theories in life sciences to address practical issues. We've had a lot of interest, cropping up in very, very recently on taking, this evolutionary research that has been going on and it's been really productive in the more basic theoretical realm. Evolutionary psychology has really emerged in the last few decades as a strong field, and now people are starting to turn their attention to questions outside of the undergraduate psychology subject pool. Since we have this such a powerful theory that we've used to really reinvigorate basic research in human science, it would behoove us to also use this really powerful theoretical framework to address the real important social dilemmas and practical issues that people have in their applied settings. And this literally is the cutting edge. So you'll find people who are really pioneering in each of their areas. Applying evolutionary theory to areas as diverse as business and marketing, to health, to apply clinical issues, and even to certain social problems. So it's really exciting to be here and to be amongst folks who are really leading this effort to build in a much deeper scientific foundation to addressing many of the challenges that we face in modern society. So what we're doing, we're really hoping, as a group, as a society, in our efforts to move beyond what you might see in the state of the literature, right now, where people are basically taking this similar sort of review of the basic research that's going on, and then they'll have a throwaway statement at the end of like, well, this would be useful for practitioners, or doing the standard review of all the different findings and making a vague speculative statement that somehow this should be informative to practice. Okay, well, what does that mean? If if we're really going to lead the way and show people how valuable our evolutionary framework is to solving these real practical challenges, we have to be much more sophisticated than that. You can't just give vague and speculative statements about how wonderful this theory is. We really need to lay out a clear path for people to take. What specific action steps can they do? What specific recommendations do we have that are theoretically informed that could be testable and could lead to some practical benefit in each of these domains. So very excited to see the presentations in this session today, because you guys will be treated to a lot of the great minds in this very cutting edge of the field. So,
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. Let's see. We want to keep it rather open-ended, so if there are any questions, I think we want to entertain them and not, bog down any kind of communication, so feel free to do that. What I'd like to